believe it's Friday, right? It is Friday, and aren't you ready to head out? On the East Coast, you must be almost ready to go. Like we should all be on this beach right now. Happy Friday to everybody. I'm very excited about this weekend coming up. Working on important and cool projects, all sorts of other things going on. What did I just see that I thought I'd bring up? ABC is going to put a special about the what do they call it? Schoolhouse Rock. It's the 50th anniversary of Schoolhouse Rock, and they're going to have famous people sing the songs of Schoolhouse Rock. I can't wait for. We're gonna like a minor betting pool online. You got to chat your guesses on who's going to sing "I'm Just a Bill" here on Capitol Hill. Now, meanwhile, making it here, 2 interviews in one day, which is so great. My guest here just even noticed that I got up early today to work a program in Japan, and great things. I'm working on something coming up. Black History Month is coming up, and on February 1st, you're all invited to the BOBI, or Black Owned Business Excellence. It is a day-long virtual as well as hybrid. I will be producing the hybrid and bringing it to you virtual. One of my good friends, Lisa Wisner, is, I think, going to pick this up and bring this to her employee resource group, an ERG, to bring that programming to you. I can tell you they have great keynote speakers and great breakout speakers. Definitely go check that out, bobe-wa.org, or look on my engagingvirtualmeetings.com/program site. Now, this amazing person, I've gotten a chance to meet through, I believe, Sherry Prindle, if I got this right. We just recently attended the Star Marketing Summit. We had a blast. During one of the social games that I created a new game called Guess Who, and this fact came out that she owned a tea room and published a cookbook, but more importantly, that she's a communicator, a great speaker, and a consultant to many. Let's bring in the one and only, passionate about virtual meetings, Dea Irby. Dea. Hey,
Thank you so much, John. You are such a fun person to be online with because nothing is going to be flat. You're all bubbly.
here, wait, I'll just be flat for you. Ready? And here.
It's not happening. It's not happening. You can't do it. You can't do it.
And here she is. That's right. Get excited, everybody. Clap for Dea Irby. Okay, you're right. I can't do it.
You can't do it. It's not even in your system.
It's in my DNA. You're right. Thank you so much, Dea, for being on here. How are you doing today on this beautiful Friday?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's Friday.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I got a chance to meet you now. Now, do you see? Was it like last year's Star Marketing Summit? I believe we started to meet.
I am not sure where we connected. You show up everywhere. You just are everywhere, and something happened, and then I got invited to be interviewed with you on the event that I wasn't even sure what it was, but I showed up, and it was for event planners or something.
Oh yeah.
It was great, and I've got a copy of your book. I found your book in the bookstore, took a picture of it and sent it to you because you're awesome, and you're just helping the world not be so boring.
And yeah, and that's your mission too, right? It's like you're engaging people. So my friends who don't know you, Dea, tell a little bit about who you are and what do you do.
I live in Durham, North Carolina. I tell people that I'm from South America because I was born in Mississippi, how's your mama Nam? And I lived in Alabama, 2 places in Georgia, 2 places in Florida, and that pretty much covers all of South America. Then we landed in North Carolina at the end of my husband's pastoring career. He's now retired. And I am a real estate agent, but throughout all those years, raising 8 children that are now all out of the house, 45 years before we were empty nesters, the important element of whatever I was doing was helping people feel connected and that they belonged, because belonging is a base human motivator, according to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And I want to build community everywhere because every person has value. And we need each person that's here on the earth because they're gift wrapped with what they're bringing to the world. And that needs to come out.
Aw, gift wrap. I like that. That's a great term. So Dia, you spend most of your time, you said connector, communicator, cultivator. So, who are your favorite and best clients and how do they use your valuable services?
The person that's in front of me at the time, really, no. In real estate, I want to serve my buyers and sellers and help them. My tagline is by your side all the way. Like I'm going to be your mama and help you through it because I know that role, right? In my 5-facet leadership strategy, the person that I want to help most or work with are the people that are dealing with the great resignation. That they want to keep their good people, but their good people are leaving, and they want to motivate the people that are staying. They want to put a fire under them without burning them. Those are the people that I feel like could benefit from understanding my strategy for building a culture of belonging.
Culture of belonging. Yes. So now wait a second. We also then discovered a fact about your past, right? So you owned a restaurant, a tea room, a cookbook, and you also did something special on April 15th. So can you talk about when was that and why did you choose to do that at that point in your life?
I wanted to do events at my tea room. I would do full afternoon tea. It is not called high tea. High tea is a meat and potato meal
Oh.
that is served at a high table, just so you know. And I have all those tea facts in my cookbook that you have to order directly from me. Anyway, April 15th or somewhere around there, I had got the idea from another tea room owner of an event. And I loved doing it. I presented the last dinner on the Titanic. Now, for the last dinner on the Titanic, they had 11 courses and they had a different wine with almost every course. It took forever. And the year that I decided to do this, there was a display or an exhibit in Atlanta. I was in North Georgia. It's about an hour and a half for me to go down to this exhibit and look at everything that they had. I bought a stack of boarding passes of the actual passengers that were on the Titanic. And it gave their history and it said who they were traveling with, if they knew why they were traveling, and most importantly, if they survived.
That's
So
right.
I would have the last dinner on the Titanic. People would buy the ticket, they would get a boarding pass and be encouraged to come dressed in 1912 clothes like the person that they were supposed to be in, the boarding pass identity. And I was able to get the music that the people on the Titanic listened to, and that was being played. While I was at the exhibit, I bought White Star Line dinner plates for 36. And
Listen to the level of detail you went to this, Dia. Is that just who you are?
yes, and wine glasses with White Star Line etched on it. I mean, if you're going to do it, because I had been a playwright, director, producer in a former life before I got to this point. And, setting the stage, I felt like I was setting the stage.
Right.
And as it happened, there was a person that I'm connected with that had been out on the whatever you call it, exploring expedition
Yes.
that found the Titanic.
Oh my gosh.
So he was there for the first year I did it. And he dressed as the captain and walked around to all the tables and told incredible details about the Titanic. And I didn't get to hear everything because I was in the kitchen cooking, because in this little bitty small restaurant, cafe, that used to be an apartment upstairs, I was hi, welcome to the Beer in Europe. Come on in. I'll go back and get your food ready and I'll serve it to you. And then I'll check you out. But this night, it was amazing. And it was fun to watch people get really into it and then find out if at the end of the night, if they survived.
First off, now, have you ever been to the Titanic Museum?
Not well, this was like a mini museum, the
Oh,
exhibit that was in Atlanta. Yes, it was a traveling Titanic museum.
so I've been to the one in Branson.
Ah,
Like literally, they have a building that looks like this ship. You
oh,
get these cards at the beginning, right? You figure out if you make it. I thought one of the interesting part is they have a cold water, like a salt water pool that's cooled, and like they have a timer on it, and you put your hand in it, and you see how long can you keep your hand in the water that was the same temperature as the Titanic was sailing in. And let me tell you, it's cold, right?
if I'd only known, I could have done. No,
So there's some crazy collector, and he had bought up almost all the Titanic artifacts that he could find, and then opened a museum. So yeah, one day. But let's check this out. So if I could find a group of people, Dia, would you recreate this on virtual or not?
well, you are the virtual extraordinaire person. If you can help me figure out how, it would be so fun.
It would be so fun, right? We have great karaoke singers here who would sing, right? Near, far, wherever. We got all that. We would have people though cook different dishes, like you said. They take some of the courses and assign them to different people, and then we could talk about them when we get on, and maybe have some characters show up as some stuff. One of my friends says, "Been to the one in Branson. My whole family lived."
Oh, good, good. Well, so yes, I was able to buy a stack of those boarding passes just like you received.
I've got one of those too. I had
Um,
one of those cards for sure. So.
yeah, well, I have the soundtrack of the music that they listen to. So yeah.
Fascinating. It'd be great. It'd be great sometime if we want to do that. All right. Well, speaking of engaging meetings, because I think that would be kind of a cool, right? It sounds like your people who came to this dinner like got into it, right? They were
Oh, yeah.
engaged because they learned things about this, that goes way beyond the movie. All right. It goes into what really, really happened there, and I think a lot of people are fascinated by that. So, that's an engaging virtual meeting. What has to happen for you, Dia? And we spent a lot of time over this past weekend on a virtual meeting. What has to happen in a virtual meeting for it to be engaging for you, Dia?
Well, you have to be there. No,
Oh, wait. Hold on a second. I can do this now. Ready? There we go. Thank you so much,
there
Dia.
it is. There it is. Actually, the most important element of an engaging virtual meeting is content. It doesn't matter how entertaining something is, no matter what jokes are told, or it has to have content worth sitting there listening. And that the Star Marketing event, which you were fabulous running, came on the heels of 8 hours of continuing ed that I had Friday before the Friday night. My continuing ed required classes for real estate.
Right.
So I did 8 hours of that and then was able to come to your meeting. I did hang around to the after party, but didn't stay very long. But I think content is the most, but an awareness of the host, of the people that are there, ways that you can acknowledge the people, asking for interaction, asking for people to make a comment in the chat or putting up a poll. And then when they make a comment in the chat, say, oh, I see, John says, and using their name, that interacting with the audience and not just like you're a dead TV station that someone turned on and they're a talking head.
Yeah, because that's the one unique thing, right? While we have the power of a television station, the one piece that we do have is the interactivity in a live program. And so again, that gets to one of my theories, which is right? This meeting is different because you are here. Right. And the second one is that Dia perfectly explained what we tell people. If you're a host or you're part of the producer team and you're reading out the chats, right? Adding somebody's name really makes a difference. Otherwise, your chats sound like this, right? Oh, you're happy, you're sad, that's great, okay, good. As opposed to Dia's happy, right? Nicole is hungry. Whatever it is. By adding the name to it, the other part too is when you say that person's names, right? Even if they were tuned out or they're doing their email, you say Nicole, and she goes, "Wow!" Right?
Exactly. What? Am I getting in trouble?
And then they find out that they've been acknowledged, so then they even feel good about that and they come back and the engagement is right back there because somebody acknowledged them. I'm here, hello, right? I'm in the audience, and that's I think really one of the key parts.
Can I tell you that in my 5-facet leadership strategy called CLAIM,
Yes.
this is acrostic, the A stands for acknowledge. And one simple, cost-efficient way I say to acknowledge people is use their name.
Yeah.
Use their name. If somebody, you're out shopping or whatever, and somebody has a name tag on, use their name.
Yes.
You might be the only person that acknowledges that person exists.
Yeah. And it also says, right, because the default people don't notice or don't take the time to notice. You put yourself into a different category when you take information they're giving you. It's on their name tag, but you go back and actually use it. And that is such a huge win. And I love name tags too, that certain hospitality name tags have like a fact or a location. Right. So
Right.
it might be in DC, but if somebody has a tag and says, right, their hometown is Seattle, Washington, of course you're going to come in there and like it's saying, where did you grow up or where did you live? Or, what do you love in Pike Place Market or which coffee do you drink? Because you can have that. And as humans, we're designed to connect, right? You said you're a connector. The easiest way to connect is to find when you have something in common with somebody else.
Totally. Another way for a host to make their meetings engaging is if they're animated. I don't want to have somebody tell me this, or if they're not looking in the camera and they're looking at the other people and they're just talking, or maybe through many adventures over the decades, Dea Irby has, they're reading it. That is not engaging.
You can feel the energy. We're humans. We're designed to do that. And when you bring the energy, that quite a bit of our communication is body language. And so if you're not doing this, which is, you have cameras, so you can, a lot of people forgot, like they pin their arms to their sides in the early stages of virtual meetings when there's research that actually shows that if you show your hands at least once during a virtual meeting, people are more likely to trust you and possibly buy from you. And there's sales research that goes along with it too. And so, yeah, the animation, but this is a great piece too. Dia and I are both using a new tool called Udly. By the way, none of us are compensated for it, but Yoodly, Udly. And what it does, it's an AI, which everyone is talking about right now too. Oh my gosh. The talk about ChatGPT during the conference was
I'm
off the
using
chart.
it. I am using it. It's crashed so many times because people are discovering it.
Well, let me say, one of the women from the conference is writing her one pager as a speaker using ChatGPT, and she's 71 years old. People, that's so cool, right? That she went to this conference, that you're open to lifelong learning, and now she has AI writing her stuff for her. That's that's
Epic.
weird, right?
It helped me write a blog post today.
Yeah. All right. And
But we divert. We were talking about Udly.
so in Udly, in AI comes in here and it will do things such as measure percentage of talking. So I think, today, like Dia will probably get about 55% because she's the guest, which she should get, or so. Like it shows when you over talk, it'll help you out. I told Dia that I'm on this mission to get rid of the word except which is great because every time I explain this, I get another marker for but I don't care. So, I have in the last week, I've been able to get my number one filler word to not be and so therefore, because I'm being more conscious about it. And the number one tip they have for filler words is when you don't know what to say, pause. Just pause. And it's actually better for the audience receiving it than you going, yeah, right, Dia?
Also, they count pauses. And if you don't pause, your listeners don't have time to actually absorb what you're saying.
Yeah, I clocked. I know recently. I mean, I clocked as high as 200 words a minute when I get going, Dia, and I know that's not great for the audience. I'm probably like since I've been conscious, I've actually gotten it down to about 160. But what's most important, and I tell speakers all the time, because I don't mind a fast count during other parts, because that's one of the ways to build the energy. And then, at the most important part, slow down. Slow down. And Dia actually, taught me this before, is look at the camera, right? While you're making your most important point. Because then the audience gets that read of like, you're talking directly to me. You're talking to my soul. You're talking to my heart. And it's a great part because otherwise it looks like this. I'm telling you now, Dia, about the most important point. Even though you might be over here, right? I might be looking at you, but you don't think so.
Right, exactly. Well, my word count rate is about 120 if I'm good, because I'm from the South and we just take our times, bless their hearts. God love them.
Bless your heart. I wonder if you get a word count for bless your heart.
I don't know. Bless your heart. God love them.
What have you
know
found?
that bless your heart in the South doesn't really mean it's not good.
I know.
So say bless their hearts.
Yeah, that would be like that Sherry Prindle bless her heart, right? She would like, and we're just kidding because Sherry's amazing.
Yes, Sherry.
But you use the phrase. Yeah, you use the phrase to kind of cover. It's like icing before you give some vinegar.
Well, it's like, what else can you say about them? They're so long gone. They're so lost. They're so, well, bless their heart. That's about all I can say.
Talk about your experience. I got to meet the co-founder of Udly, so I'd love to hear your impressions and what you're learning from it. Because also too, Dia, I want to see if you are interested. Hopefully, I can get you into this program. I recently got approved to be a Udly speech coach.
Ooh, that sounds enticing. And I did have a conversation with someone, and it might have been the co-founder. It looks like the same picture. He was looking for feedback from people.
Yes.
And what do I like about Udly? My favorite, and this is what I told him, is the fact that it creates a transcript. Now, you do have to go back and correct some of the words that they don't get right.
Yeah, it's still
90, as we mentioned before. But all I have to do is click to copy transcript. I don't even have to highlight it. I just click the little button, go to my Google Drive, put it in documents, and there it is.
Well, let me tell you about two cool new things, right? Number one is like when you become a speech coach, they can set up a site where when people sign up on your accounts and they give you permission, then you can peek into their conversations as a speech coach on the ones they allow you to, and therefore give you coaching comments, even though you're not present. I think that's super powerful, right? Like, Dia, haven't you done that or asked for a video from one of your friends, like during a meeting who got permission from the person there and then give it back to you? And then you come back in there and you're going, that's great. That's great. Whoa, what did you just do there? What was that, right? And that's one of the best ways, I think, as a speech coach to make a difference is to give that feedback, really honest, true feedback to somebody. And so I think that's a powerful tool. And the second one, by the way, is that they're developing one that's real time. And when I mean real time, like you can put a little monitor underneath your camera that is usually coming back to you and giving you marks, things like that was great statement, positive, and hey, you just dropped another will you please stop that? And it'll do it in real time. If you have a Mac, you might be able to get into the early preview, but I'm a PC guy, so I got to wait a little.
That's what they were asking me. They wanted to know if I had a Mac so I could be in the beta testing.
That's right. I
But
signed up too, and yeah, and I had to cancel my meeting because I met the guy, and he goes, He goes, "Are you on Mac?" And I'm like, "No, no. I thought you got the PC thing." And he goes, "No, we're only Mac only. So we'll keep you on the list for PC." So
that's yeah, I had the same meeting. The other like it you mentioned earlier, if you've got more than one speaker, it will rate how much speaking time each person had. And I haven't figured out how. Maybe there's a glitch, or it could be human error. I don't know. Could be. If you have a Zoom meeting in your calendar and you connect your Udly to your calendar,
yes,
that's why Udly showed up here today.
yes.
And it showed up for a officer meeting for one of my Toastmasters clubs. I didn't know it was going to. Afterwards, it had how much time everybody talked during the
Yes.
officer meeting. Wasn't that? And I was very proud to see that everybody had equal speaking time.
That's a great meeting. Yeah.
7 people.
I got the inverse, and I got the inverse. It was in another meeting, and I looked at the count, and it was like way high, like almost 200. And I go, wait a minute, I've been working on this. Why is this? And they go, it's not me. Because you can also select per person who's in there because it's able to identify who's there, identify the audio with who's speaking. And, and it was somebody else in the meeting. And so they clocked over 110 ums in a 45-minute meeting. That's a lot.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Okay, great. Dea, what was the best virtual meeting that you've been in over the last 2 years? I would love to know. Since probably March of 2020.
Well, I'm not trying to butter you up or anything. I would say the star marketing was probably the most fully engaging, you pulling out all the stops, using all the parts event. You had interactive games, you had music, you demonstrated unique ways to make presentations by doing the immersive view. Is that what it was when you were?
Oh, wait, you're talking about this. Now I haven't really showed too many people this. I gave a new talk and it's using some technologically advanced stuff. So watch this. I'm going to put Dea in a seed, right? So I created a new program and it's called Seeds of Virtual Facilitation. And now I'm able to do things like this. What's up, Dea?
I'm in a seed.
That's right. And so I created what I call the most technologically advanced program. And because I really wanted to push the format, I was invited to a conference called Never Done Before. Miriam Hadness, amazing. She's been one of my speakers. And she pushed me to create a program that I've never done before. And so I said, let's push the technology as hard as possible. And then one of the other guiding principles I didn't know when I really did this program that made it a success was I want it technologically advanced, but the attendee doesn't have to learn anything new. Doesn't have to learn anything new. And so I was able to do things like put chats up on the screen with us. Oh, let's see if I can actually do this. I'm not sure if I can do this correctly today. Oh no, yeah, sure, why not? Okay, chat. There you go. Oh yeah, see, look, we have a chat. So this is what Dea chatted me earlier, and there's some pieces on here. So people were able to chat, and we used it on screen as a discussion as opposed to the side of the screen. And so that was something else I think that was kind of unique to this program, and really we're looking to push the format. And that got me to this new truth, which is while people are burned out on the technology, is that they definitely want new and unique programs as long as it doesn't have an impact on them. And if you can do that, I think people will be more engaged, right, Dea?
Right, exactly. Well, even you stood in the garden
Yeah.
while you were giving a talk about watering your seeds.
Oh my goodness. Here, hold on a second. Let's see if I can get it right. Yeah.
How engaging is that?
Yeah. So I
So,
walked in and I played REM's, right, gardening at night, and I came in here and I actually had a full gardening outfit, right, and then I gave this opening like presentation piece talking about stuff that was over here. So, oh my goodness, Dia, thank you so much for that. And
well, who can compete with you, John? I mean, you are the Mac Daddy of engaging virtual meetings.
oh,
You've
okay,
written a book on it.
I want to show you. I made a new button, Dia. Ready? This is my new button. Ready?
Oh no.
I took the Zoom because Zoom created new animated icons.
Yes.
And I
Yeah,
took them and I recorded them on a green screen so I could cut out all the stuff around it. And then I put them inside of here because I always felt they're too small,
yes.
right? I wanted these reactions to be big. So I made all these reactions big. And by the way, if you subscribe to some of my stuff, I'm going to try and figure out a way for you to get this. You do have to use open broadcast software. Although I can make a virtual background that's just a movie. And that way you could just click on a virtual background and you could actually have this effect, right?
Well, also, I discovered at the meeting about the what do you call them? The people, the characters. You can create your own
Oh yes, yes.
avatar.
Avatar, right? Did you make one?
I did, but on a different computer. This one I haven't been able to upgrade yet.
Okay, here, I'll do it for you. Ready? And Avatar. What's up, Dia?
There it is.
I know, this is me. Hi, I'm John Chen here at the Star Marketing Summit. By the way, thanks for you people for all the chats. Like, I've got the power music in my head. That'd be great to print screen and save those for that need visual and pictures. And so, yeah, we have people chatting along with us, Dia. So, yes, this is a new feature here, too. And we're actually thinking about creating a new networking event with this. One is, of course, make your own avatar, but the second one is to like give a picture of somebody famous and have everyone try and make that avatar in a limited amount of time, and then all turn them on, and then maybe give a prize to the person who creates the avatar closest to the one that we gave. So I thought that'd be something fun, and look at it's pretty good, right?
Yes, I think it is. It's very good.
So, and I actually think there's business value in this avatar because you can do things such as have presence even though you're not camera ready.
Yes.
You can also, I also tested it out. You can eat, right? While
Yes.
and still have your camera on and still have presence.
One facet or one action that it does not do, because you've already mentioned using your hands. If you're an avatar and you raise your hands, it doesn't. It only,
Yeah, there's no hands. The avatars don't have hands yet, which is too bad.
it is too bad because we need our hands to
Yeah, we need. Yeah, so that I actually agree with you because once I saw that, it will do motions like this. It will do
correct,
blinking.
and it'll turn.
Yeah, they do a lot of those, but the missing of the hands is it's possible too. Tracking the hands, as you can see, should be able to be done, but they just haven't done it yet, and I think that's obviously what's going to come next.
And did I see that it would recognize your motions? If you do this, it'll give a thumbs up, or if you put your hand up, it'll do your hand up.
Yeah, that's a reaction, so it can recognize your reactions from your camera and then actually set it on Zoom. I turned it off, unfortunately, Dia, because with all the hand gestures that I make during my meetings, it actually gave me, the problem is it would raise my hand. Yeah, it would raise my hand when I didn't want it. All right. Now I know this is when I have a long days when I blow the batteries out of my remote battery pack, right? So, and this is the other part too, Dia. This is so fun. This is like a virtual masterclass of stuff, which is have a backup for everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was in the middle of doing a presentation, and I've got an ether cable from upstairs through the house, down the stairs, through the living room, plugged into the modem.
Yes.
So I'm never going to lose unless our internet company goes out. So
Yes.
then I had to quick grab my phone and connect on Zoom on my phone and try to do the presentation, the rest of the presentation. Anyway, yes, always have a backup.
The digital event strategist. So I'm nominated for an award from PCMA Digital Event Strategist of the Year. There are three of us who are finalists, and I interviewed one of them today, and she just said, "Yeah, that's the number one. Number one is plug in your laptop." By the way, that was her tip because she had a speaker on a panel drop out when his battery on his laptop died. And then the second one was have your phone, have a backup. So have either the phone number and or the Zoom link to speak so that if everything goes out, you can like get your phone and hop back in and participate in the meeting. So yeah, go ahead, Dia.
I was just going to say another tip, which I have found on this desktop I need to do is before the meeting, I need to restart my computer.
Yes.
Because for some reason,
Yes.
when I turn it on and I go to a Zoom, sometimes it will say the computer cannot find a camera. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I just used it 30 minutes ago.
Yes. So yeah, so I tell people that I have a speaker's checklist. Here, I'll actually put it, see if I can get it into the chat for some of these. And in this speaker checklist, it says reboot before the beginning of a big day, you know? So if you are speaking, you definitely want to reboot that morning of and allow extra time. So in case you have any problems after you reboot, but that is one of the best ways to clear out everything else and minimize minimize the chance of you having a problem. Yeah, this morning somebody had that, and he's on a Mac and he's trying to use Keynote, and Keynote stopped responding to him, and he had too many things open. You know, either that or buy a really, really big computer. But I can tell you, actually, that's not a guarantee either, because I have a really, really big computer, and sometimes I still need to reset it. Like if I reset it at the beginning of a day, the odds of me having a problem like just go down dramatically. So great tip to you.
Next week I'm speaking at the International Leadership Summit.
Yay, congratulations. Oh, I saw it. You've been putting it online. I think I've been trying to register.
Drive traffic. Yeah. The person that's running it, it's her event, you know.
Yes.
She required a recording of my talk. Oh, so yeah. I pre-recorded it. I'm going to be there live giving it, but if anything happens, she's got a backup to play.
Yeah, yes. I know that
nothing will happen bad because she's prepared.
Yeah, I know that procedure. I haven't actually implemented yet because I have such a preference for live presentations that I'd rather deal with it than play a pre-recorded. So at least that's my own personal preference. But it is still like if you want your show to go on, you'd rather have it than not have it. I mean,
exactly.
So
exactly. It's like if you take your umbrella, it's not going to rain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And sometimes there's that. Maybe it's better for you sometimes too, because now you've given the talk, you're even more natural because you're so more familiar with it.
Right. I just need to go back and remember what I said.
Yeah. Yeah. What's that piece of brilliance? Okay. Speaking of the future, Dea, you know, I love that you're so passionate around virtual meetings. And what do you see in the future? What do you see happening? What's some of on your wish list of what virtual could become for you in the world?
I don't think virtual is going to go away. You know, people are doing meetings online. I think it can open up so much of our world. I have been interviewed and been a guest on podcasts from people all over the world because I didn't have to get on a plane to go there. And then yesterday, when I spoke to a group in Mesquite, Texas, they were gathered. I had an opportunity to Zoom in and present virtually to them. It was their first one, and I did hear at the end, that worked. So I was encouraged. I was able, it took a little work. We had the camera, the laptop, and I could see some of them. And then the person that I was dealing with had his phone, and he was showing the room. So I did still ask questions, and I could see people raise their hands or they would answer it. And if I couldn't hear, he would tell me what they said, but I was still able. I love it. I just love it.
Well, thank you for that, Dea, too. And yeah, you gave a great side tip there too. If you are a virtual speaker, because now you can, even if they are in person, you can speak to them because they can save the travel and expense costs and still have an in-person feel to this. the key here too is get an audience camera because it can really still help you. Just like the gallery, seeing the audience camera, and I've picked out people. I'm like, yeah, I see you, person in the blue coat. What's your name? And you do things like that, and they're like, oh my gosh, you really can see me, right? And
Right,
so
right.
that's an immediate engagement part, which they go, oh my gosh, this person really can see me, so I can't tune out, so I might as well engage in this program.
Right. It reminds them that you're not a television set.
Yeah, this is not a pre-recorded show, and this is live, and this program is about interacting with you and helping you with your challenges, not just me dropping all my, words on you. So
I even gave them an exercise to do. We were working on talking about their culture of their club, and there's an exercise really cool to help you know what you want. And each person worked on creating in a year from now what the newspaper article would be the headline of a newspaper
I
article.
got somebody ran this. It's called Headlines from the Future. That is such a great exercise, Dia. Kimberly Weefling right now is like shaking in her boots because she just ran this exercise earlier today.
Really? Okay. Well, they were, and so I got them to, I didn't give them as much time as it would take if I were in person. We were doing a play shop. I'm not calling them workshop because I want to play shops, but they did get enough done that I could ask for people who wants to share, and then they would read them. And I asked, well, what is your aha? What's your takeaway? What did you get from doing that exercise? And I was able to hear the feedback too. And it's like, well, it clarified it and brought it down to help me understand what we're about. And, it went very well, even though I wasn't there in person.
Yeah, and that's because you believe and you're passionate about it, and two is you're prepared.
Right.
Right? And three, you practice now. You've had 2 years of massive practice of interacting with people like us and Sherry Prindle and others, and watching others too deliver. To me, always gives me inspiration going, oh, I'm going to borrow that. Oh, by the way, I want to show you this new thing I got earlier this morning. This is a new interactive exercise called Countdown. I finally got the name. I didn't even know what the name was, but the name is Countdown. Okay, watch this. Give me 3 fingers, Dia. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question, and you put a finger down if it's true. You've ridden a motorcycle. Okay, now you ask the question back to me.
You've been scuba diving.
I'm certified. That's right. Okay, you have been to the Virgin Islands. Oh, okay. So, and then whoever counts down to the beginning first, or you can actually count down to the entire audience has 0. Right. So there's different ways that you can do it, but it's a fun networking game, and you go around and get other people. So or you let people nominate other people, right? Saying I get to ask a question, and then I have to nominate somebody like Dia or Sherry or somebody else in the room. And so that way it's a really great engagement game where you don't really have to be in control, but you learn a bunch of stuff about people.
Yes. Well, I liked the exercise you did at Star Marketing where everybody put in the chat interesting or fun fact about you, and then everybody guessed who it was.
That's right. Actually, we're using advanced polls in Zoom because they now allow free text. Before you could only choose like multiple choice, but now you can actually write something in, and then you click on it. You can open it up in a browser for all the answers, and then you start sharing it on the screen. So you run a little poll, and then you go through and try and guess, like, again, Dia's fact was owned a tea room, and I didn't know who that was. Nobody knew who that was, right? There was a lot of wrong answers, and Dia then came out of nowhere and said, yeah, that was me. So Dia, speaking of that was me, if people listen to this interview and only got one thing, remember one thing, what's the one thing you want them to remember?
That you are gift wrapped and that you matter, that you being you is going to make a difference in the world because you're made for greatness.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Dia. You are made for greatness. And where can people find you? Where do you want people to come find you if they want to connect, communicate, or cultivate?
I made it as easy as I could. It's myname.com, deairby.com, DEAIRBY.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dia. I hope you enjoyed your time here. Thank you for coming to the Star Marketing Summit and, of course, giving the very, very kind feedback, Dia.
Well, you're awesome, John. Keep up your awesomeness.
Excellent. And I expect to see you at my conference October 23 through 25. I finally got dates. Okay.
Okay.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's going to run 6 hours a day, and it's going to be extraordinarily awesome. And I'm going to start sharing some new formats in the interviews coming up. All right, Dea?
Wow. Thanks.
Excellent. Thanks, Dea. All right. This is John Chen, and we've just been interviewing the one and only Dea Irby. You got to make sure and listen to her. If you need a keynote speaker, make sure and look her up at deairby.com. Everyone have a safe and amazing weekend, and we will see you next time here on the Engaging Virtual Meetings interview.
Always start people and keep old people. Show you got heart.